Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel. Unfortunately, today is supposed to be Mondays with Muhammad, but time has been kind of getting away from us lately and things have not been going as well or as planned. So today is gonna just be Monday with Makeva. So on today's agenda, my husband and I were supposed to discuss, or rather we already did the video, but if you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I mistakenly deleted the video. So I will just discuss what we discussed together on my own now, since he's away, he's at work, and yeah, I'll just get started. So what we were discussing was the quarantine and how everything's been going for us and how we've been dealing with being quarantined and social distancing, and has whether or not COVID-19 has affected us personally, anyone in our family or our friends. And so first off, I'll say that for me, it's been really tough just trying to adjust to life being online, everything being online now, virtual. I have to teach classes via webinar now, and I have to take classes online, which I absolutely hate doing because I am not a very good online student. It's not for me. So I would rather be in a classroom than to be online. Coronavirus has affected me. A couple of my cousins tested positive for coronavirus. One of them was homesick for a couple of weeks, really sick. The other one didn't have any symptoms. And then a third one actually was in the hospital with pneumonia and was really sick. We were really worried. And then my uncle also tested positive for corona, he was also sick and had pneumonia. But thankfully, they're all doing well now. They're better. They no longer have COVID-19 and they're no longer sick or shut in. I guess we're all kind of shut in though right now because we're quarantined, but they're well and I am grateful for that. And I definitely consider myself blessed. As far as work goes, I've already mentioned that I'm teaching online now, and that started out as really stressful for me because I guess I couldn't really wrap my mind around it. The idea of teaching online and having to do everything virtually was just crazy for me. And I'm such a people person, an adventurous traveler, and a busybody, really, for lack of better terms, in a good way, not a bad way. But I love to just get out and move about and do things, and being like stuck inside was really hard for me in the beginning. I definitely had a couple of mental breakdowns. The first like 2 or 3 weeks was really hard. I found myself just laying on the couch all day, watching TV all day, only getting up to eat. So I literally put on like probably 10 pounds or more. You guys can't tell because you can only see this part of my body. But again, if you follow me on social media or if you've known me, then you could tell like the differences. But things have started to get better. I guess after being in this situation for a certain amount of time, you kind of get used to it. So school being online has kind of become the new norm. And teaching online has been the new norm. So I've been adjusting basically, and I try to find ways to keep myself from being in that depressive state like I was in the beginning. And I just really try to find things to do, try to stay active, keep my mind busy on productive things, not things that stress me out, because schoolwork and all that kind of stuff stresses me out. So thinking about that just makes it even worse. But I try to focus maybe on pageant prep. If I have time, then I have nothing but time, but sometimes I'll watch like a really good uplifting show or something that's lighthearted, like a game show or something that can deter my focus from being stuck in the house, but while also not making me focus on something that's also stressful in another way. So but other than that, on the next topic, it is Ramadan, and while I do not practice Islam, my husband does, I decided that I'm going to participate in Ramadan this year for the very first time in my whole entire life ever. And we're on day 3. And what can I say? It's been interesting, to say the least. It's been interesting. So my husband and I, we have very difficult conversations sometimes because of the fact that we have different opinions when it comes to religious beliefs and practices. So we have difficult conversations, but those conversations are needed, and they help bring to light, issues or kind of give perspective to each other's point of view. So what made me decide to do Ramadan is one of the conversations that we had recently, where like I typically ask him questions. If something comes up and I don't understand or I don't get it, I'll ask him a question. I don't always ask in the nicest way, or I don't always ask from the nicest I don't always ask from the nicest place, but he gives me an answer. He gives me, as much as he is willing to give me without me searching for myself. So I've basically come to that point where, it's time for me to start getting an understanding for myself, so that I'm not always asking these random weird questions from either confusion or, maybe anger is not the right word, but basically kind of, out of a place of like, really, the audacity, but anyway, that's another topic. So it's Ramadan, and I have been fasting now for 3 days, 2.5 days, because I'm in day 3. And I honestly didn't think that I was going to be able to do it, because I love food and I get crazy hunger pains to the point where I feel like I am starving and dying, and that is on a regular basis. Okay, this is normal day to day. I literally get hangry. So if I miss breakfast or lunch and my stomach starts to do this weird thing where it's just like burning and beating, and I just feel like I'm gonna die, so I get upset at the world until I get some food. So I honestly didn't think that Ramadan was ever for me. And we used to fast when I was Christian. We did fast, it wasn't that different from the fasting that you do during Ramadan. You're not supposed to drink any water or anything. And the only difference is that the fasting that we would do in the Christian church wasn't something that was necessarily annual, or mandatory. Our pastor would maybe subscribe a fast for the first 30 days of the year, for the new year, or going out of the year, or just randomly throughout the year. if he felt like the Spirit was calling him to that. And they were typically sun up to sundown, so just like Ramadan, sun up to sundown. Some people would get up and eat in the morning, some people wouldn't. That's where it's like kind of different from Ramadan, because they do get up and eat in the morning before the sun comes up, before they do their morning prayer. And what else? There were exceptions to the fast for Christians. Like for kids, you know, you could have them fast from sweets, or people who couldn't necessarily not eat anything or not intake anything, you could do a liquid fast. So you could do nothing but like water or juices, but not like sweets, cold drinks and things like that, but like maybe like smoothies and things like that throughout the day, and then you could eat solid food after dark. But with Ramadan, no, there are no exceptions. None. Okay, I had to learn that the hard way, but it's been okay. The first day was easy, surprisingly easy. I literally could not believe that it was that easy. And much to my husband's credit, as he told me, you know, it's a time of refocusing and things like that. So I was able to do that. You know, I have been putting off practicing and spending like a lot of time just practicing and honing in on my French skills. But the first day of Ramadan, like, I had to find something to think about besides food, because my mind just kept going to food. Every time, it doesn't matter. Every time, like every 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna eat? No, dang, I can't eat. So what I did was I got up and I started moving. I cleaned up some. I listened to a French podcast for like 3 hours. Like while I was moving around in the house, I was just listening to this French podcast. And I also played my French radio from Spotify. And so basically I immersed myself in French that day. The only English that I had was when I went to go and I met up with a friend after I did my photo shoot on Saturday. But other than that, music, I didn't watch any TV. I really got to do my entire day in French, and I felt great about doing that. So I was really excited. Still, I'm happy about that. Yesterday was really hard. Like, I asked him, I said, I hope that, you know, the first day wasn't a false, like, didn't give me false hope for it being, you know, easy. And he was like, no, it's really not that hard. Please. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's hard. Okay. Yesterday, y'all just don't even understand. Y'all just don't even understand. Today too, like, I woke up this morning for sahur, and that's when you eat before the sun comes up, and I couldn't eat because it was too early and I had just waken up, and so I just didn't eat anything, and then I didn't go back to sleep. So I've been awake now for like extra time, so that makes the day even longer, because once the sun comes up, then it's too late. Like, you can't go back and be like, okay, well, I didn't get to do sahur, so I'm gonna eat. But all in all, it's been okay. It's been hard. It's been really hard. I'm not even gonna front. The first day was easy. I don't know why it was easy. Maybe because the French really just helped me through. But yesterday was not as easy, and actually I didn't even get to focus as much yesterday because the food, like the hunger, was too distracting. It was too distracting. Like, so I spent most of the day yesterday in bed, but today I'm up. I have to teach my classes, so I'm focusing on that. And I only watched like a little bit of TV this morning, but I'm still hungry. I'm hungry. And I'm thirsty. Very thirsty. But it's okay. We have many more days to go. Hopefully it'll start getting easier. as the days go on. And yeah, I'll check back in with you guys. But I promise next Monday will be Mondays with the Mohammeds, with an S, both of us, not just me. And I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me kind of rant about what I've been going through the past 2 months leading up to now, and going through during Ramadan, my first ever. If you guys have any questions, leave me a comment, like the video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.